You basically lost all your money. You had robbers who came to your house.
If you don't pay us tomorrow, we'll kill you and your kids and whatever.
How did you handle from that to becoming where you are now?
Not very well. You either close or you're dead. You close or you're in jail. You're dying to make me cry, aren't you? He wants to make me cry. Listen to this. I'm going to a car showroom tomorrow to buy a Rolls Royce free.
Lost all his money, almost murdered, then moved to Dubai. Today with Behomes and Hussein, we have the pleasure of meeting with Mr. Dariush Soudi, the young entrepreneur. I'm going to call you young.
Dying entrepreneur by the sound of it.
Because your path since you came to the UAE was very, from my point of view, it was very inspirational. And I'd like to know more about you in general.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It's an honor being here. The funny thing was, he says almost this, almost that, almost that. I think my middle name is almost.
Yes.
Right? I think everything is about attitude, right? And you're either a victim to what happens in life or you just take control of life. So somewhere along the way, and I kind of know because I'm a thinker, is that the universe made me a fighter. And as you know, I call my followers gladiators.
Exactly.
You know, and it's just, I believe that life is like the arena of Colosseum.
And this
right?
is...
And every single day you go to battle.
Exactly.
Every single day.
This is why you call you have the Gladiator Summit.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay.
I'll come to that if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
I'll try to make it chronological so it all kind of makes sense. And I thought that if you quit or you weren't prepared for your battles in life 2,000 years ago, and you went, well, just see how it goes in the Colosseum, you won't last 5 seconds, right? So you'll be worrying at night, you'll be thinking about the people who are going to be on the other side, your attackers, your opponents. You're going to be thinking about the crowd, the atmosphere, the adrenaline. But now, 2,000 years later, we're the same humans, but we just don't fight for life. We just go and play at it. And then I met... I was in a wedding, and it was a Jewish wedding, and a Jewish rabbi sat next to me. And he said, and they wheeled the grandparents of the groom over. And he goes, they're not going to last long, but we're all happy for them because they've had a beautiful life. But I've buried people, or I've been there when they're passing. And there's 3 ways of passing. Do you mind if I share with you?
Yeah,
I said,
sure.
And he asked me, do you mind? And I said the same thing.
Exactly.
I said, sure, share with me. And he said, one is that they've had, like these 2, they've had a beautiful life. They achieved everything, and everybody's happy for them to go. And when they go, everybody will be happy. They're happy. It's time for them to go. The second is whereby they have ailments, they have sickness and pain, and people are happy for them to go, and they're happy to go. But the worst death is where they have a life where they look back, and it should be, I should have done this, I should have done this, I wish I'd done that. And they have a life of regrets. And that's the most painful death I've ever seen. And I was 25 when I heard that, and I thought, you know what, I don't want that life. I want to have a life where I've just ticked every box, done everything, never harmed anyone, had the good intentions, but I never went into battle to see how it goes.
So leaving a fingerprint in this world is important.
You know, I'd rather have a goal, which I do, and my goals change every 6 months. I'd rather be a speedboat than a sailing boat. Most people, like, wherever the wind blows, they go.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'd rather decide where I'm going, and if that iceberg's coming, I just change. Yes, because I'm going.
And this is important because you keep on focusing on one thing, and this is where you grow. Because
that's very interesting.
Even in my field, we see a lot of brokers who focus on like 10,000 projects, and then they tell you, I don't sell. Well, yes, because you're not focused on specific
water
thing.
can burn through steel if it's focused.
Exactly.
Right? But then if it's dispersed in a hose pipe, it can't even penetrate nothing, right? So focus is everything. And I think there was a journalist who went to Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and Bill Gates' father. They were having lunch, and he said, if there was one word you could actually advise people to be successful, what would they be? And all 3 said focus.
Exactly, I agree. Yes, definitely agree. Focusing on specific thing makes you go faster and on a steady steps, which makes it clear to your mind that you need to go there within this mind.
You need to have goals. You need to have your goals written down with time scales, broken down into daily, monthly, weekly, hourly, per minute. So you constantly focus. Now, the problem is when you don't have money, a lot of brokers around the world don't have a salary.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so it's very difficult not to welcome other opportunities to make quick money. So it's easy for me to tell, because I'm wealthy, it's easy for me to say. Somebody's sitting there saying, I don't know if next week I'm going to pay rent. What are you talking about, right? So what I always say is focus on the lowest hanging fruit. Which one brings you the most amount of money with least amount of effort? And that should be your focus until the rent is paid for or your overheads are covered. And then you can focus somewhere else. But then you can tell someone to focus medium to long term, but the rent is getting paid.
Yes.
Food needs to be brought on the table.
I have a very important question, because you said you change your goals every 6 months, which is, for me, it's definitely, I take more than that to focus on new goals. But again, you have more experience than what I have. And what's your advice? Like, why do you change it every 6 months?
Well, because I hit them.
Okay.
So if I hit my goals, why do I need to have the same goals, right?
But
so,
do you make small goals, or do you make a very big goal that you can reach?
the thing is, the power of thought is really amazing, because you're constantly talking to yourself in your head. So if you set what your subconscious mind thinks is an unrealistic goal, little voice goes, "You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot." So you walk around like you're a desperate idiot, right? So what happens is you set the goal and you think, if I do this every single hour of every single day, I will achieve that goal. Sometimes miracles happen, because I truly believe in miracles, and my life's been a massive miracle.
I do as well, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
but you have to take action the right direction. So I don't think setting realistic goals is, I like to set unrealistic goals. You know, they say, aim for the stars, yes, and you might hit the moon or something like that. So
exactly.
you still break away, you still do very well. But then don't beat yourself up if you don't hit all your goals.
Okay, you started from the bottom. You basically lost all your money. You had robbers who came to your house. Then you had the heart attack. And after that, you moved to Dubai. What happened when you lost your money? How did you lose your money?
I used to have 7 health clubs in England for loads of 17 years. And I was quite well known. I was in a rich list of northwest of England. I was on a television program called That's Rich. And one evening, and then I got divorced from my first wife. My second wife was in Spain, one of my houses, with our newborn baby. So I just chose that I look after our kids. And my ex-first wife was in Dubai, living in Dubai, with our investments and stuff like this. So one night, knock on the door, I'm shouting to the kids, somebody answered the door, and one's on Xbox or the other one's listening to music. So I went down and I was putting my shirt on, opened the door, and 4 men break in at knife point. And they pinned me against the wall, they're demanding some money. And being a salesman, I said, well, I don't carry that kind of cash, but too much. They said, these are your school. They've been following me. They said, this is your office, these are your children's schools. If you don't pay us tomorrow, we'll kill you and your kids and whatever. So that night, I called the police. They arrested them within half an hour. And I was worried that they have friends or whatever. They could attack the kids or me. So I never went back to that house. And that evening, I sent my children to Dubai because I thought they were safe. And then I drove with police escorts. I went and filled my car, and I drove from Manchester to southern Spain. So I went through England, Eurotunnel, France, Spain in 48 hours. I was like this and didn't know what had happened to me. And then after a couple of weeks, I had a heart attack. And then when I was lying on that hospital bed and said, you're probably going to die, 70% chance of dying, I was looking at the ceiling. I was like, this is not going to be my last view. This is not for me. But I was crying, and it was really strange. I was thinking, well, if I'm going to die, this is it. But the reason I was crying, because I was dying alone, and my kids weren't with me. That's really kind of like thinking I remember. And I thought, whatever happens, if I live through this, in September, I'll come to Dubai. I just made a decision. So obviously I lived through it, and I told people I put my business up for sale. One of them I gave to a member of staff who'd been serving us for over 10 years. She's still running it, doing extremely well worth. And then the others I sold, and a gentleman came, a group of companies, owned a group of companies, gave me 10%, and he said he wasn't going to pay me the other 90.
Ouch.
And he said, sue me. And I thought, well, it's 3-4 years before I can get anything out. I could die by then. What's the point? And I went to Spain, literally sold everything. I had 3 houses. I left the keys on the kitchen top, came to England, sold everything, left.
And then you came.
The bank came after me. The government came after me. I paid everybody off. I should have gone bankrupt. I would have ended up with more money. I ended up with $750 in my pocket.
How did you handle from that to becoming where you are now?
Not very well.
You have to fight.
It wasn't easy.
I heard you speaking a lot about sparring or demonstrating what you're going to do through your day in order to nail it, in order to understand, ace whatever you're doing, which is something I believe in. But tell us more about that.
You see, through your life, you meet people who kind of like affect you in tiny little ways. And I had a gentleman who was my consultant for my businesses. And he said, Dariush, you'll make an amazing consultant. So when I came here, I had no track record, no nothing. And the people who had attacked me at my house set up like 20 websites against me, calling me all sorts of things that it was wrong. So when I meet someone, I said, I can do this for you. I'm dyslexic, and I was doing copywriting for people. I do anything. And I said, pay me. I can teach you. Say, I'll go to clinics. 70% of my clients became clinics in the health industry because I had the experience, right? So I approached them. I said, if I can help you turn your sales around, pay me 30% commission. And it worked.
And you actually went to those people,
door knocked. And then one story, if I may share with you, I've shared a few times, hopefully your viewers and listeners haven't heard it, is that it was September and it was hot, and every time I went knocking on somebody's door, I was sweating. So I thought, I need a car. I didn't have money. So I went and found this car rental place where they accepted those Visa machines. You know, you put it in, you get a piece of paper, go, yes? So I knew for 30 days, they're not going to charge my card, which had nothing on it. So 20 odd days went by, and I hadn't had any clients. And I was constantly worried that here in Dubai, if you don't pay for something, they put you in jail. So I had one last customer, and it was a Monday. I'll never forget this. And I was driving. It was on Sheikh Zayed Road, a Grosvenor House building on Sheikh Zayed Road, 40-something floor. And he was my last client, my last prospect to close. And it was like, you either close or you're dead. You close or you're in jail. Yeah. So I brought a copy of my proposal to turn his business around. He had 90-odd salespeople. And I said, I'll give you 30% increase in sales. And I turned up. I was sweating. I was nervous, shaking. I went to sat where I always sit in a meeting, which is facing the door. I'll explain all that. And I could see him coming to the reception. And he was like, I could read his mind. And he was like, oh, no, he is here. And it was like, who? And he said, Dariush. And he goes, and he's walking towards you. I can almost read his mind thinking, how can I get rid of him? Yeah, I don't need him selling me anything. This bald guy come to my office trying to, and he's looking all enthusiastic, sweat running down his head. So he came over and I said, hi, did you see my proposal? See, I got it, but I hadn't opened it because I had a busy weekend. Don't worry, I gave him a copy. And he was going through this proposal like this, and my heart was coming out of my chest, and I could feel the sweat bead running down my back. And I thought, I've got to do something, because if he says no now, I'm effed. So do something. So I went, it's a deal then. That's exactly what he did.
That's exactly what he did. And this is why you need to always be prepared. Because if you never went to the meeting...
Always close, right? So, and that's exactly what he did. And you know what? I do this demonstration and nobody not shake my hand.
Definitely, man. If it's
everybody does automatically. Yeah. So then I thought, what do I do now? He shook my hand. So I said, okay, then for me to start tomorrow, because I had to pay the car, you need to pay me today. He goes, right, okay. I said, well, why don't you go and get a checkbook, and I can start 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. And he went and got the checkbook. I'm like, that was easy. And then he goes, who do I make it payable to? And I was like, I don't have a bank account. This was going through I was still doing Visa runs, right? So I said, cash. He went, cash? I said, yes, cash, with certainty. And he wrote the check at the time, was 7,500 dirhams cash. I got that check tomorrow, 7:30 or 8 o'clock, and I literally fast walked to the lift, and he follows me. And as the lift was closing, I was like, thank you, God, thank you, God. And he was like, like, what the hell just happened to me, right? So I said, tomorrow morning's 8 o'clock. And he's like, okay. Got in the car, and I was crying for an hour. I was sick. I opened the door, I was sick outside, and because the adrenaline was so much. And I just made a decision, and he hasn't left me since. And the decision was that I will always ask for the deal. Because right now, because I believe life is seasonal, right? A lot of people listening and watching are going through winters of their lives, right? but it's seasonal. They will have spring, summers,
Yeah.
okay, and autumn. So just if I'm doing the right thing, and I am, I'm working hard every single day, and I'm making calls, and I'm delivering, and I'm pushing, eventually my spring will come.
Yes.
But when that spring and summer comes, I will always stay hungry.
And a lot of people are always waiting for you to tell them, let's close the deal. And that's why a lot
They
of
just don't know. People,
Yes.
99% of people are sheep. They're looking for that leader. They're looking for that guard dog, the leader, the farmer to guide them the
Tell
right way.
me what to do.
Yeah.
Like, tell me.
And then, but the problem is that, again, salespeople are listening. As soon as they get wealthy, they get comfortable.
Yes.
And your comfort is your biggest enemy. So I decided that I was always going to feel uncomfortable, even when I'm going through the spring, when I've got money in the bank. So now, even now, I close 99% of my deals. And the only 1% I don't close because I didn't qualify them at the beginning.
Yeah. So
Right.
qualification is important. So you do
Yeah.
qualification, and you have to tell the
It's
people
typical
that
questions
you need
I
to
ask. Okay, what's your decision-making process? How many people are involved in the decision-making? You know, if what's stopping you from going ahead, so I can prepare. I discuss all the technicalities of sales, but you need to close. Too many people go in and they say, okay, think about it. I'll leave you to think about it.
And this
When
is
they're
where
thinking about it, Dariush goes and closes the deal, gets the check, and they're still thinking about it, right?
Exactly. I usually tell them you need to ask around 10 questions or more in order for you to understand exactly
That's
what is this
incredible.
client
That's very
looking
much
for.
NLP as well,
Yeah.
right? Because sales is about building relationships. Unfortunately, too many people in sales want to sell a package, a box. I have a bunch of stuff and I've got a bunch of holes to fill. So I just have to,
Yeah, I have to
but they
keep
don't
moving.
realize that relationship that
It's
makes
important.
everything count. Yeah.
Connection. It's all about connection. This is the whole idea when a billionaire or a millionaire comes and tell you, I came from nothing. My dad didn't help me while his dad is a millionaire, for example. And then people start making fun of that. And then you realize at the end that it wasn't that his dad gave him money. He gave him connection. And this where he started building on those connections.
At the same time, connections are sensitive things because you could easily ruin it.
Yes.
Right? So having emotional intelligence is really important. Act as if that you are confident. Act as if that you're the busiest. Act as if you're the most professional. Because the prospect you're sitting in front of can feel your energy. If you're desperate or you're lying or, just be yourself. Do you know why? Do you know why most relationships break down?
Not having emotional intelligence.
Because they don't know each other's boundaries. We spoke about this earlier. They cross over boundaries, right? So what I do now, because when I had a heart attack, I wrote down exactly what my values were. And before I meet a prospect, I said, these are my values. I have a value book.
So you communicate your values
Right up
before.
front.
And this
I
is
said,
one of the most
honesty is
important
important. Communication is key. Speed. I do things, just because I do things fast doesn't mean I'm desperate. Right? I just do things fast because time is your most expensive commodity. I'm not going to just keep meeting you for shishas, see how it goes,
Yes,
right?
yeah.
I'm only going to meet you for shisha if we're going to do business. Okay, if you want to become a friends first, friends don't give each other money,
They don't.
right? So we'll cross friendship line after we've done business together. And sometimes people go, I don't know, he's very punctual, Yeah, because I value time.
Which is emotional intelligence. You need to tell them how
With
you
certainty.
want. Yeah,
With
exactly.
certainty. Because if somebody's desperate, they move their boundaries, right? Act as if you're the busiest agent on the planet. Not ego. To be successful, if you're too egotistic, unfortunately many men are, you become arrogant.
Yes. And
Yeah, we
this doesn't
discussed a
work.
few before
Yeah,
that.
I was just gonna
And
tell you.
people don't get connection and relationship with arrogant people. They might go ahead and get bullied into a deal, but they won't do any more deals. At the same time, you can't be too much empathy. You can't be too nice. Because what happens is, nobody wakes up in the morning, I'm going to buy something from Dariush. Nobody. So to get them to buy from me, I need certainty. But then if I'm too certain, I'm too arrogant. If I'm too nice, they walk all over me.
So there's a small
Balance.
line between self-confidence and...
Correct.
Yeah.
Be like, for instance, you're never going to sit in front of someone who's not going to share with you the hardship. Oh, I bought a property, I lost money, I did that. And then lots of people go, oh, did you? You lost property? And then suddenly they're both in the same ditch.
Exactly.
Right? What you do is you sympathize. You go, oh, I'm sorry you did that. That's why you need to do business with, because I'll make sure that never happens to you.
Exactly.
And they go, wow, okay, he understands, yet he's got the confidence to take me there.
Okay.
And that's success.
Okay, so you used to have or to be in the MMA game, right? You used to fight. How did that affect your?
No, MMA, more martial arts. Sounds good though, doesn't it? No, karate. It was. I used to get bullied. I was the first foreigner at my school, and because I didn't have a father, I couldn't go home and tell a man figure that I'm having my ass kicked. Right. So I learned martial arts to defend myself, and it didn't actually achieve anything. But what it did do, though, it gave me self-confidence. Okay, because I still got bullied. I became the prefect. Vice head boy, I still got bullied. All comes from self-confidence. That you look in the mirror and you like yourself, nobody can crack it.
Okay, but this definitely affected your life in a better way. So there are two kinds of people.
100%.
Someone who's going to take it in a bad way and they're going to ruin their life more, or another person who's going to take it in a positive way. It's going to push them to become a better person and they will go up.
This is amazing. This is going back to your point about some people will say, I can't sell it 3 million dirham, this, I can't. So what happens is, what I say is that we're beautiful jars. We're beautiful jars of jam. Okay, you're a jam, I'm a jam, she's a jam. And they're beautiful, delicious. Suddenly somebody decides, put a label on it.
Yeah.
And people fight for that label.
Exactly.
They don't realize they could just change that label.
Change that label.
So you and I who've got NLP experience, our aerial is very sensitive towards words. So say, I can't, I won't, it won't happen. Well, you're manifesting it.
Yeah. You started it wrong, man.
And it's not about the product, because you can give somebody a pen and they go, that's a bit expensive. And then they come back and say, I couldn't sell it. Why? Because everybody thought it was expensive. You give it to somebody else, who goes, that's no problem, it's cheap. And they're going to sell everything.
Exactly.
So the market reflects on how you see it.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Okay, so you started 2 companies in Dubai.
Yes.
You have...
You're dying to make me cry, aren't you? He wants to make me cry.
Gladiator Summit, where you do your training in it. You get a lot of speakers in it, a lot of people who have the experience, who have a lot of money, and they start sharing their experience with attendees. And you call them all the gladiators. And you have the Arena Capital. Okay? Tell us about both.
Thank you. Nothing, I think, in life happens with that bigger picture in mind. Before COVID and after COVID, I used to hold classes for salespeople, myself, over the weekend, a Saturday, a Sunday, 12-hour each session. So honestly, on a Sunday night, midnight, I had blisters in my feet. I sold the tickets. I put the event up, do the presentation, and it was very exhausting. And then last May, I decided I'm done. I'm rich. I don't need this anymore. And you never get rich selling your time. So I thought, how can I scale this? So I sat on it for about a year, and I thought, maybe people don't even care about gladiators anymore. So what if I don't want to do all the work? And my ticket price was like minimum $2,000. I'd reduce the price, get a bigger room. Instead of 100 people who used to come every 2 months to watch me and teach them, I'll get 600-700 people in the room, but I'd reduce the price.
Okay.
Put it up. In 4 weeks, we sold out.
Yeah. This was last
April. We sold
April.
out. Mm-hmm. And we have a waiting list of 1,000 people. So it was an incredible day. It was our first big event, and nobody who went will even guess that it was our first big event. But we created an environment whereby billionaires and millionaires, by the way, every one of those has a story. Because I have I think on Instagram, 2.1, 2.2 million followers. The most common thing I get, people saying, your story resonates with mine. Because somewhere along the way, when you sit in your studio apartment and people are right now, I used to live in a maid's room. You think, this is my life. Is this my life? And then you listen to somebody say, well, somebody else has got a life like mine, or been through it. Maybe it's worth me listening to this person.
I believe usually the same past, they value each other because they know exactly what they went through, and they know what values they had to follow in order to reach there and stay there.
And then you get from the heart to their heart, not head to head. Head, they forget. But when you reach out from the heart and you connect to their heart, and they believe in your story, and my story is quite powerful because it's been huge ups and downs, yes? And people love it.
The whole story is literally, yes, it's powerful.
How long do you have?
They don't understand. Like, I only spoke about losing the money and the robbery attempt. Yet you had the whole thing from the beginning, like losing your dad, then you're traveling to another country with your family, and then your mom taking care of everything, and from there you're taking it. So it's a very long story, and it's inspiring. Yet again, where you are, and this is why I'm so inspired by it, a lot of other people will take all of that and they will be in the negative part of the area. And other people like yourself are going to take all of that and be in the positive part of the room.
True. And I often get disappointed a little bit because I think the only difference between us and vegetables and trees is that we have the power of thought, right? We can have unlimited potential, whilst for whatever reason we allow the environment, our upbringing, to put ceilings over our potential. And that upsets me, it hurts me, because I never had somebody to guide me. I had to go and look for it. Now people can find it on the internet. At my youthful age, there was no internet. So I think, God, you don't know the gift you have in your hand right now. The way I see it is that your glass is either half full or half empty. It's the way you view life. With me, my glass is overflowing. It's not even full, it's overflowing, right? And to be selfless, you have to be selfish. So what I say to the people who are critical, judgmental, negative, fill your cup. Fill your own cup.
How do you deal with the hate?
I think they hate themselves, right? Because they don't like looking in a mirror, so they point the finger.
This is important. What drives you in the morning?
First of all, I live in gratitude. So when I get up in the morning, I think, God, I'm awake. It's a bonus, right? Because I've had 2 heart attacks. And I think one is the bonus. And when you're happy to be alive, I'm nearly 60. And people don't think I'm 60 because
you look younger. The first introduction to you, I was like, the young guy.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm 58, and I'm proud of it because I don't have a line in my face, and because it's my attitude. I'm living in gratitude, you know. And people want to do business with me, not because of my experience, because they like me. They like the energy. And when I meet someone, I want to do business with them, I'm thinking, would I want this person back in my life?
Exactly, yes.
And if the answer is no, they're draining, they're negative, I'll find an excuse not to, because I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. And that's why they ghost people. A lot of salespeople get ghosted.
Every single day, and this is important.
They don't know how to deal with it. And I can teach people how to overcome ghosting. But the problem is that they didn't build that connection and that trust, and the other person doesn't want to hurt their feelings, so they ghost them, okay?
And in order to handle that, from my point of view, again, correct me if I'm wrong, if you can't handle negativity from the beginning, you wouldn't be able to reach the point where you can handle if someone ghosts you and you want to bring them back.
As a salesperson, I had this conversation with my son. I have a 30-year-old son, and he gets upset about things. And I said, look, son, the reason Elon Musk is the richest man on the planet because he solves huge problems. Yeah. He doesn't solve like, oh, you don't have enough sauce on your ketchup on your burger. Yes, he'll get $5 an hour, right? But he's solving world problems. So what if you woke up in the morning thinking, I hope I get loads of problems? Because the bigger the problems you solve, the richer you get.
The richer you become.
So when a problem comes, my attitude is, thank God they're coming to me. I'm not thinking, oh no, another problem. No, thank God they're coming to me.
You're a consultant. This is the whole idea.
That's why I'm earning more money than anybody else.
If someone lost money, they come to you so they wouldn't lose the same money again. And from there you take it.
You made a really good point. Somebody loves money. Now, when you said that, 80% of the people went, ooh, loves money, or must be a bad person, must be greedy, must be the... But no.
Yeah,
you can love money. It's an energy.
A good person.
Yes.
Yeah, like I love money. I still do my charity. I do everything. I help
kids,
the poor. I do everything in the right manner. The whole idea, yes, I need to live in the life standard that I did set for myself.
Well, you came to Dubai, right? You didn't come here for spirituality.
Yes.
Right? You came here to make money in the right way. And one of the reasons that I did good, because people know Dariush delivers on his promises. Too many people in Dubai come, take money and run, which is fantastic for honest people, because then others are dying for us. You with me? So stick to your values.
Okay, so why did you choose Dubai?
Well, because my kids came here. I've been on holiday a few times and I was like, oh, this is dream world. And I remember being in England, my daughter, who's 28 now, was practicing music, a dance in a church. You know, they have annual dance things. Yeah. And I remember sitting there, and it was in a church hall, dust on the floor, wooden, cobwebs everywhere, and this old woman like dying on the piano, ding, 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 ding. And my gorgeous girl and her friends were dancing. And I thought it was okay. We sat on these crap benches. And then my niece was here. And then they invited us to her annual dance. And it was Jumeirah Beach Hotel. It was popcorn stands, hot dog stands. The whole Michael Jackson was playing and on a screen, and they did a moon. I was like, I turned around and my first wife and I were crying. Because I was like, this is going on and we're happy with old church halls. But I never had the guts to leave. And then something of massive, impact had to hit me for me to go, I'm leaving. Otherwise I was comfortable, was rich, but not happy.
Exactly. Yeah, but it makes sense. Like right now in Dubai, I believe that it became more like Miami effect. There's a Dubai effect where you want to work harder in order to reach the same position as everyone you see on the street. And you have the Dubai feeling where you feel safe just being in this city.
Yes.
Like, to be honest, specifically for people who travel a lot, Dubai is super safe compared to any other city.
I never want to live anywhere else.
But this is Dubai. The point. It removes the awareness that you already had. Like, when we grow up in countries like in Cairo, for example, I have a specific awareness. Like in my mind, I understand that if I did this, this is going to happen. If I left the money there, this is going to happen.
You can't leave your car unlocked because it gets stolen, broken into.
Right now, I have a huge amount of my money and the car was the valet, and I'm not even thinking about it.
Exactly. I've never locked my car door.
Exactly. Yes. And this is creating this atmosphere. Like, you do understand that they are building something bigger in the future, and that's why you want to keep on living in this city.
In the real estate industry, people talk about the bubble bursting. Now, I'll put it like this. The whole of Dubai isn't a quarter of Miami.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
So if you think about our ruler, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, his vision is so grand that we know nothing. 10 years ago, we were saying there's going to be bubbles going to burst, and then people are making money. Optimists keep making money. If I was a real estate agent listening to this now, I wouldn't think about the bubble bursting. I'll be thinking, what makes me unique amongst the other 100 people in my office? Right? I wouldn't be thinking, I've got to sabotage them, I've got to screw them, I've got to steal this, I hope that person drops dead and I get his database. And, I'll be focusing on me. What makes me stand out from a crowded marketplace? And if you believe in abundance, there's so much money out there.
This requires a lot of self-confidence because, for example, sometimes I do get inspired by a person who works in real estate and they have a specific, like they're saying something important, and whenever I take it, I do say, inspired by this guy. And this is confidence. I don't need to say that he took it from me, I took it from him. I'm giving him credit. And from there, they started respecting me more because this is what I do. I don't need to say, I came with this message. No, I didn't. I copied this message from this specific person. And regarding the bubble, when we were thinking, I had a client a couple of days back and he was speaking about the bubble. I was like, give me one time that the bubble hit Dubai and it wasn't like the whole world wasn't affected. Like 2007, 2008, financial crisis all over the world. Exactly. You're speaking about 2019, 2020, COVID, the whole world. Give me one situation where the property prices dropped because the country or the city wasn't able or did something wrong. And he couldn't respond. And he was like, I'm interested in this specific property. I want to proceed. The whole idea is what's happening right now. And this is why I do believe in training like nothing else. And that's why I usually speak with trainers, because 100% training is very important. Even if you're the most trained person all over the world, you can be speaking with someone who just came to the industry and you learn something new. And that's why it's very important what you're doing. And that's why I want them to understand why would they, because you have another event on November, right?
16th of November.
Okay. So why would I, as a person who works in sales or want to be an entrepreneur and or to start my own business, come to this event?
I think the first thing I would do, I would follow me, and then there's about 2,500 videos.
Yeah.
I'll watch and I think, do I resonate with this guy? Do I even like him?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, then you come to my event whereby we create an environment where it's safe. You can be. People were crying, grown men were crying, dancing, and where you can share your vulnerability. And I'm a big guy, and people who don't know me think, oh, he's going to beat me up. But then they realize I'm really soft. But what people like, and 75% of my followers are women, and I call them gladiators.
Yeah,
Can you believe it?
yeah.
Gladiators, they macho men. But and you know why? Because they don't see many men who are happy sharing their vulnerability. So you can still be strong, yet share your fears, share your vulnerability.
When the thinking is healthy as well, it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and the thing is, right, I'll go down the women's side because I think women make better leaders.
Yeah.
They can handle pain better. They make better soldiers. They stick to the system and the rules. Men make the worst stock traders because their testosterone says, I'm going to take a position on that stock. And when the whole world turns and it's going down, no, I made that decision. But with most women, go, no, Dariush said, after 15% drop, sell it. Oh, okay, I'll sell it. I'll stick to the rules. Right? So women are better entrepreneurs, better leaders, everything. But unfortunately, they're in the men's world.
Yeah.
So what happens now, women have just got to, like I did in England, just as minorities, we just have to work harder until hopefully one day it becomes a woman's world. Which there'll be peace, there'll be nothing, yeah.
Right
Not so
now,
unhappy
women
men,
work
but
hard. Yeah, see, women now work hard because they
have to.
They
They're
see
the
that they
minority.
have to prove
they're
that,
the minority. They've got nothing to prove, right? You just have to bring. If you work in a company, make yourself irreplaceable.
Yeah, definitely, yes.
Add so much value. Don't sit and say, right, I want equality because I am of this sex. That's irrelevant. You have to bring value to the company. And play those strengths.
They're doing great right now. Like there's a lot of, like, specifically in this city,
Yes.
they are focusing a lot on giving equality to everyone. And
You have to earn it.
Exactly.
You know, you have locals. You have 10% of your company to your locals, and people go, well, the locals, because they guarantee they're not going to turn up. We can't have, say, a cross word against them. They'll sue us. Absolutely right. So you can't gift anybody anything. Like we said earlier, if you gift it, they don't appreciate it. You know, if you're getting everything, they have obesity issues with locals because they don't have to do anything, right?
Yeah.
And when you go to the gyms, it's majority expats. Because when you come as an you've got to work your ass off to make it. So you work your ass off in the gym. And it's the same with women, it's people of color. Any minority has to work harder to become equal to the person.
Yeah. Okay, so what is Arena Capital, or what does Arena Capital do? Like,
Okay, I don't, over the last, are you familiar with compound growth?
not really.
Okay, compound growth is the eighth wonder of the world that nobody knows about. Eighth wonder, it was actually Einstein who said that.
Yeah.
It's the eighth wonder of the world. So if I said to you, for instance, I'll give you an example. Hussein, I want to take you to Bahamas for a week and for free. And you can bring your family along with you and moms and dads and how many you want, no problem. Bring them along. And all you have to do, the catch is, all you have to do is play 2 rounds of golf with me every day.
I'll do it.
You'll do it.
Yeah.
Right? Now, here's the thing. We'll start the first round, so in the morning and in the evening.
Yeah.
So we'll play $1 a hole. Okay? And double or quits.
Okay.
So if I play the first hole, and you don't know I'm a professional golfer, you will have to pay me $2 the next hole, and then 4, and then 8, 16, 32.
Yeah.
Until about 15, hole 15, you're thinking, well, I'm only $20,000, $30,000 down. But hole 18, you're $250,000 down. Because compound growth, this happens. So over the last 8 years, I've been very disciplined, and I've kept everything, and I've saved everything of my money. Now I've got enough because it's done this. I never have to work for the rest of my life. And I invest between $100,000 to $500,000 a month in different companies. And Arena Capital that's what we do. We invest in companies all over the world.
That's so inspiring, man. You came from the bottom to the top, then the bottom, then the top again,
I
which
pinch
is
myself
really
every
inspiring.
day. Yeah, I'm going tomorrow. Listen to this. I'm going to a car showroom tomorrow to buy a Rolls Royce free. Free. Can you believe it?
How is it free?
Miracle, right? So I'll tell you a quick story. In my second 6-month goal was a white 458 with a black roof. And I was driving a Yaris. Okay. This is my goal, vision board. And I achieved all my goals apart from the white Ferrari with the black roof. And then out the blue, somebody on LinkedIn messages me. This is like 8-9 years ago. I've got a they messaged me and said, we got this exclusive car club. Can we come and see you? You pay like 12,000 dirhams a month and you can have a choice of any car in this catalog you want for a day.
Okay.
Came and saw me, and it was a white Ferrari with a black roof, exactly on my vision board. So I paid him 12,000 dirhams a month, and I'll have this car for 1 day a month. And I was like, I'm kind of cheating my goal here. I don't own it. I only have it 1 day a month. So I manifested it, and about 3 months later, the owner of the car club, comes to me and says, Dariush, I'm shutting my company down. Okay. I said, what are you going to do with the white Ferrari with the black roof? He said, well, I don't know anything. I said, can I have it? And I'll pay you 200,000 dirhams a month. Okay. Gave me the keys.
And then from there?
I paid 200 grand a month for 6 months, 1.2 million dirhams. But exactly to the day I got manifested my goals, the white, exact color, everything arrived. So now I have very good, because my reputation is good, I can go to a car showroom. I said, I want that 2.5 million dirham car. And they go, here's the key.
And that's it.
How often do you want to pay us?
And this was built over the past 15 years because you always keep your word. And this makes sense.
Dariush delivers.
Yeah, yeah. That's really amazing. Yeah. So
it's a miracle, right? Miracle happens all the time.
Everything is about, like, the power of attraction, the law of attraction. I believe in that. If you have to feel that you're going to do that, you need to believe in yourself.
But you have to deliver.
And this is important as well. Say something. Look, sometimes you take this decision, okay? And according to the decision that you took, things don't really go the same way you thought it's going to go. But you need to bring for your clients and for yourself as well. The moment you find the best option, even if the return of investment is lower, but this is the best option, it's better than going for like... Yes. Just selling anything. And this is the issue with the market right now. Everyone is trying to sell anything. So I've been told multiple times, you're focusing on 2-3 developers only. Yes, because I understand those developers. If it went south, I know how to fix it. If I started focusing on what should I do? Bring someone to fix the issue for both of us?
Well, if you're an expert in your industry, there's a reason why you chose those 3 developers.
Exactly.
And if you explain it correctly, and then you have a good trust factor with your buyers, then that's it.
Exactly, yes. I believe in
you're either a salesman or you're an order taker. The one has a portfolio of 1,000 developers is an order taker. What do you want? I'll run around and give you what you want. Or you could really, like you said, through smart, open-ended questions, really find out what your prospect wants and then give them that.
And give them facts. Like this, yes. I'm telling you buy this because of this and this and this. I'm selling that because of this and this and this. And why I offered this because of that. Like you have 3 options in front of you, 3 major developers. You're looking for the same specification that we just showed you.
Yes.
Delivery on this date, it's ready on this date. Like you're going to get whatever you told me that you want. And from there, I'm going to tell you, this is what I believe I like in the most, but we have another 2 options.
You know what? I have many real estate agents come to me for coaching. One of the things I taught them that very simple, very, very simple can get them to close deals tomorrow. Like, what's the biggest problems that they have? They have prospects don't respecting their time. Yes. So they turn up at the place, they either show up or they don't show up or they don't take the call and stuff like this. So what I always say is, what has been painful for you over the last 3 months? And they say people ghosting me. People don't respect my time. They're lying to me. So what I tell them is, right, if you want to avoid those, when you meet a prospect, tell them. Tell them, say, I'm going, Mr. Prospect, Mrs. Prospect, I'm going to run around. I'm going to find you the perfect proposal. That involves a lot of my time looking for the right properties.
Yes.
You said you want to move in the next 3 months. I want to find you properties that move it. All I ask of you is don't ignore me.
Yeah.
All I want to ask of you, don't avoid me.
Be honest.
Be honest. Can you do that?
Yeah.
If they say, that's not the prospect you want.
Exactly.
But if they say agree, 90% of people remember what they agreed with you in the beginning, and they'll never ghost you.
I just had something like that where I was speaking with a client, a prospect. She was interested in buying a specific product. We spoke about it. I told her I understand that you want this specific property, and then she called me. She was like, why would I work with you and not with another person? I told her because I deliver value. I'll never, look, we all sell the same thing. I'll never leave you if things went south. It's as simple as that. Then, imagine, 2 weeks later, she called me and she was like, sorry, I bought with this person because he's my husband friend, and he told us that he's gonna bring the unit. I was like, exactly like this. Look, and I want to refund my money. I was like, why didn't you call him? I was like, he's not responding. I was like, your husband friend is not responding. Okay, so this is the way or the route that you should take. This is the message you should follow. And I told you from the beginning, the best thing that the reason why you will deal with me, that I'll never leave you when things went south. Yet I was able to get the units for my clients. I was able to get a refund for whoever wanted a refund, and you just didn't appreciate that. Then she said, yes, I understand. I'm really sorry for that. Second day, she texted me again. After me telling her what to do exactly, I was like, look, I told you from the beginning that this will happen and I can't help you no more. And she said, I'm really sorry. Thanks for your time. I appreciate your honesty. Simple. And it makes sense.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
May I?
Yeah,
that's beautiful, but painful because as a salesperson, you don't want to lose a deal. So if somebody phones me up and says, why should I go ahead with you? I say, interesting you say that, because most of my happy clients said exactly the same thing.
Exactly.
So I'm going to ask you a question. If you had a best real estate agent looking after you, what qualities would they be?
Okay.
And she will tell you.
Yes. And this is why I called you. Like, this is the reason why I called you. Like,
I will never justify.
Yeah.
So what happened? We say, well, because I'm honest, because I'm this, and because I'm that. Then you're justifying, right? I never justify in sales. So tell me, if you close your eyes and have a magic wand and you had the best real estate agent in the world, what qualities are you looking for? And they'll tell you. And you go, that's me.
See?
I can do that.
This is why training is important. Every single day you learn something new.
Yes. Well, yeah, thank you. All I know is that I've been in a marriage where I had to justify, where have you been, what have you done, who have you spoken to? And by the end, I might as well have been naughty or done something because you've been accused of it, right? So I thought that's just like sales, because you don't want to be in a relationship where they constantly just, in sales, especially commission only, people think just because that person is rich or has the money, they're king. Mm-hmm. They're not. Yeah. If you bring a value, you're equal or above them. So don't kiss ass.
I totally agree on that.
And don't justify.
Yeah.
So if they ask you questions, you know, and the question you must go, well, have you had bad experience of dealing with real estate agents? What were they? Mm-hmm. Okay? Mm-hmm. And then you consider, well, you won't have that with me because of this. You won't have that with me because of this. But you're only ticking their boxes. But if you're constantly justifying, it's exhausting. And they feel in power.
True. Yeah.
So I'm going to do all this work. Are you the only decision maker? Mm-hmm. Is there any reason why you'll go with somebody else and not me? Because I'm not going to run around because I value my time. I qualify before I do it.
I do this. Yes. And this is the best thing. And that's why at the end, when she came back and she said that, I was like, why do you want me to? I helped you once. I helped you twice. Wow. This is the third time. Go back to this specific person and ask him to help you because this is his job. And I wasn't going to help her again because at the end of the day, we're done with helping.
Why should you? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But then you know what? Hopefully one day they'll buy more properties. They'll come to you.
Exactly.
Nothing is ever short term. It could be medium to long term. I'm the short term guy, and then I close. I say act as if that you're the busiest real estate agent. Act as if your diary is busy. Too many people I phone up and says, right, can you come round now?
And they go. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm like, what message are you sending out that you've got nothing to do?
Yes.
You know, you've been to a hairdresser. Do you have any availability? You look over the counter and the diary's loads of blocks and signatures and you think, She goes to the back to find the hairdresser. You think, oh, I hope they're busy. I hope they can squeeze me in, right? You go to the same place next week, you look over and it's empty. You think, there must be something wrong with them, right? Psychologically, if you're busy, people want to be with you. If you're quiet, they think there's something wrong with you. So play the game.
Even if you're the best, if you don't have something to do, if I call you and tell you come now and you came, like, you're
You have no
desperate
respect
or
for me.
Yeah, you're desperate. I wouldn't respect you because you
Yes.
came right away whenever I
Yes.
told you, and you have nothing to do.
But at the same time, how many real estate agents you find themselves? There's a key waiting for you. Go and ask security.
This is bad as well.
Yeah, I get
This is
those
bad
as well. So
bad.
if you want to get serious income, get serious about your life.
And it's all about connection as well. When you meet a client who can afford to pay this much money for a house, you need to go and meet them on your own time.
Do you know
Yes,
what
I
I'm saying?
understand.
It's, whether it's 100,000, 100 million, you got to respect that's all they have.
This is the point.
So whether the guy's a billion, actually, the guy's a billionaire doesn't get as much respect from me as the guy who's got 100,000 dirhams, because the billionaire, maybe if 500,000 is nothing or 5 million is nothing, but to the guy who's got 200,000 to
100
invest, it's everything they've got.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Respect them. Go meet them,
Yes.
and they will introduce you to other people.
What's the first rule of sales? People buy
People
from
buy
you if
from
they
you.
like and trust you.
Exactly. And
it's
their
face to
friend
face.
as well buy from you.
Oh,
so
yeah.
This
Well,
is
I have a
the
referral.
game.
I do a referral marketing program. I had a client of mine not too far, a gym, and she phoned me up and said, I'm going to close my gym. I only have like 6 customers. And how can you help me? I turned around, and in 1 year, she sold it for $1 million. Do you know how I did that? I went in and I had a conversation with all her clients. 3 of them said they loved the place. I worked a referral program, and she got fully booked. And I sold it for $1 million.
This is another thing. A lot of salespeople, I'm not going to speak only about real estate agents, a lot of salespeople don't really ask their clients for referrals.
Also, it's the way you ask. What they ask is like, you know, I can give you commission if you give me, I'll give you half my commission. But then you're kind of prostituting somebody's
Yes,
friendship,
exactly.
right? So what I say, hey, Hussein, did you enjoy the experience? Did you enjoy our relationship? Did you love what I did? Is there any problems with it? You know, I actually really enjoyed doing business with you, Hussein. And you were punctual, you were honorable, told me the truth, you had the money, everything was done right. And you know, there's a saying, birds of a feather flock together. Doctors with doctors, nurses with nurses, teachers with teachers, entrepreneurs with entrepreneurs, positive people with positive people. You probably know other people just like yourself that could help my business grow.
Exactly.
Would you mind if I borrow your name to introduce myself to 3 people that you might know? Would that be okay with you?
Mm-hmm. Definitely will be okay with that.
You see?
I'll say definitely will be okay.
It's the
with
way
me.
you ask.
Yeah.
So people don't know how to ask for referrals.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Would you help me grow? Because I love your energy, everything. And I'm sure you know 3 people just like you. And if we can do that, and then you know what they do? They get those 3 people, they sell to 1, 2 say no, and they stop.
Yeah.
I go back to and get 3 referrals from each, even if they don't buy from me,
Yes.
because I treated them with respect. They give me 3 referrals. And so from 1, I get 3, 3, 9, 9, 27, and I never stop. I never have to call. Never to have somebody put the phone down on me.
I haven't done that in the past. Since 2018, to be honest,
amazing.
I didn't do
Beautiful place.
a cold call. The whole idea is I work on referrals, and recently I worked on social media. And I was telling, like, usually I tell my colleagues, like, guys, the whole idea is the way you treat people, the way you end this deal, even if it didn't go right the way you like, you
Don't
still
burn it,
need to
yes.
exactly stay with the client. And I have client who bought, literally, 2016, I met him in Saudi. He bought from me in 2022. Then he made huge price appreciation. Now he recommended me for his friends. I wasn't pushing. I
Now,
always...
May I?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, if you know, and not just real estate, I go to clinics, hospitals, dentists, and I say to them, where are your biggest patients coming from? And they say referrals.
The referrals.
And I say, okay, then referrals cost you nothing, and they are guaranteed business. Okay? Do you have a program? And they go, nope. The phone just rings. How can you run a frigging business when you're hoping your phone rings? So why don't we put a program together whereby I know I will get 20 referrals this month. I know. And I can close 18 of those, and I can hire people Because I have a referral marketing program. 99.999% of the businesses out there don't have a referral marketing program. They hope the phone rings. They hope Mr. Saudi recommends someone. But you don't have to push. If they love and trust you, you never have to push. You just have to ask.
And the way you asked, like you were mentioned before, the way you asked, because saying I'm going to give you this, it's a bad way of
everybody tries to.
Yeah.
And here's an offer. If you bring 10 people to my veterinary clinic, I'll give you 10% off for your dog. Yeah. Yes. The reason I said that, because we just invested in 2 veterinary clinics. Yeah. And very, very easily we've turned them around, because I looked at the 80-20 principle.
Yeah.
20% of your clients bring 80% of your revenue.
Yes.
Focus on your 20%.
And make them happy. And
make them happy, and put a referral marketing program, and suddenly that doubles the 20%. Simple.
True. It was a pleasure meeting you today, Dariush. It was like an honor to meet you today. Guys, if you ever want to understand more about this, follow Dariush and go to his event on November. What's the date exactly?
November the 16th. I have some of the. I'm sure you've heard of Grant Cardone.
Yes.
I have Grant Cardone's, the guy who sold to him, coming. A gentleman called the Real Bradley.
Yeah. You have a lot of heavy names during this event. I've seen the names, and I'm gonna be there on the. I just need to know the dates exactly if I'm gonna be here.
World Trade Center, 16th of November, and it's a Saturday.
Most probably I'm gonna be there.
You'll have an invitation. There'll be a space, VVIP at the front waiting for you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you,
Pleasure meeting you. Thank you for everything, and I really, really love your story, and it's inspirational. It can get people to places. Thank you for your time.
I honor you. Thank you so much.